What?
Subscribe.
Subscribe. We'll highlight all that. Don't you worry.
Just
But of
saying,
course,
you gotta remind people.
Subscribe right now.
Subscribe.
subscribe. Of course.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
All right, KB. So it's story time. So,
Oh yeah.
I don't know how we got into this, but I remember what were we talking about when I bought stuff to you. Like go back in the
let me look at our text messages.
back into the files.
Let's see. It all started with you mentioning to me that the Water Dogs were looking for a beat writer. And then we divulged into me dropping a "that's what she said" joke, to which you followed up with "not my wife," and then you picked up on me dropping the Borat accent of "my wife."
Oh yes, okay.
And then you dropped "great success," and then I said I come to America to make a movie, and then you said, "Did I ever tell you about my coming to America story?"
All right, so my coming to America story. So I was, I think, 4 years old, and I don't understand why this happened because Coming to America was already like 6 years old. Ethan, do you remember the movie Coming to America?
Yeah. It's a good movie.
Oh, yeah. All right, good. Oh, well, he's a film major.
I'm cultured in movies.
You know what? Okay. I appreciate that.
That's my guy.
The next time we do a show without Ben, we're gonna discuss our top 5 favorite movies. Ethan, for your own sake, the shows that occur when it's just me and KB.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
It's 98% nonsense, and the rest is golf. So like we'll get through our show eventually, but it might just be 2 hours of us just talking about.
I told Steve yesterday when I was talking to him on the phone while I was on my way home from Philly, I said, I was just telling my mom I got to fill in for Ben on Get in the Hole, which means I'll probably spend about an hour and a half to 2 hours talking about rap music, food, and football. But that's just what I do on this show.
Yeah,
I divulge from the actual golf.
Yeah. So essentially, what happened was I was on a cruise ship, and I don't know why I was watching Coming to America, but I watched Coming to America either before I was on the boat or when I was on the boat. I was like 4 years old. I'm at the line for food. I'm holding my mom's hand now. Not to say that like I didn't grow up around everybody, but I grew up in a white middle class neighborhood, and I wasn't really exposed at 4 years old to the African American culture. And so I see a nice black man standing in front of me. This is like big guy, according to my mom, and I go, "Hello, black people!" And this guy starts fucking laughing his ass off. And my mom's like, "Holy fuck! Did you just
God?"
And he goes, "Coming to America?" And my mom's like, "Yes." And he's like, "Oh man, I love that movie. I love Eddie Murphy."
That's hilarious.
Fucking Christ!
This guy thought I was the funniest dude on earth. As a little stupid ass, I was 4 years old. As a little fucking stupid 4-year-old, I can call my mom right now and she can ratify this story.
We need to set up the voicemail line that is exclusive to your mother, by the way.
Here, hold on. Here, I will literally call her right now.
Oh yes, we're exposing Ethan to your mom. Yes,
exposing Ethan to the realities of my mom calling into the show. Can you hear her?
Yeah.
On.
Baby.
Hey, Ma.
What's up?
You're on the podcast.
Yes. Oh yes.
We are working on putting that on a shirt. Can you ratify and confirm my "Hello Black People" story on the boat?
Yeah.
What happened exactly? Yeah, because I was 4 years old and don't recall a lot of it. Yes.
You were about 4 or 5, and your father and I took you on a cruise. I think it was the Norwegian Gem. I'm not sure. And it went to Bermuda. And I remember at the time you liked remember those little action figures?
Rescue Heroes.
Rescue Heroes, yes. Billy Blaze and all that. Anyway,
Goated toys, by the way.
What?
Goated toys, by the way.
Yeah. Goated toys?
Goated.
Oh, goated. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it was that and Thomas. Anyway, so we get there, and you get to the cruise early, and we got on I guess a few days before we watched the movie Coming to America. I don't know, but it was very light in the cafeteria area, and there was an African American couple, and we were young, so they were probably maybe my age now, 50s, and hello, Black people. And I was, Steven, you're not supposed to, stop, you're not supposed to. And the man was like kind of cool. And he was like, oh, no, that's cool. But you embarrassed me a little bit.
Oh, I could totally imagine. But also, that's like an all-time story that I tell everyone now.
Yeah. Hello, Black people. Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of cringe when I think about it. But you were cute and they were cool. So.
You were cute and they were cool. Said in the most New York of accents.
Listen, but sometimes I have to mouth the kids.
Oh, of course. Ma, before you go, give us a fun like brain rot joke.
Oh, a joke?
Yeah. Are you bringing the boom?
I don't know what that means.
Just say it. You're bringing the boom.
Hold on. Here we go, everyone in podcast.
Oh God.
What travels around the world but stays in its corner?
Jesus Christ, Mom. All right.
What's the answer?
KB, what do you think it is?
I have no idea.
Ethan, any clue?
No.
All right, Ma, what is it?
Stamp.
You sound so proud to tell us that it's a stamp.
That's good.
Yeah, it's
Well
great.
played. Well played.
What's black and white and red all over?
I don't know.
A nun falling downstairs. All right, bye, Mom. Bye, Ma. There you go.
Ethan's like, what the fuck did I sign up for with this internship?
So I once called out a 50-year-old black man when I was 4 years old.
I have a not similar but adjacent.
I would
type of
hope you
story.
don't have a similar story.
No, but similar vein, but not same story. When I was 2, in the middle of the Deptford Mall, for all of our South Jersey listeners, which is the exit right before Philadelphia, Christmas time, food court in the mall, lots of people back in the day, back in the 90s. You know the name game you play when you're growing up, and you say everyone's name, and it's like you'd be Steven, Bo Bevan, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going through my whole family's name, blah, blah. I have an Uncle Chuck. So the middle of the food court in the Deptford Mall, 2-year-old me, top of my lungs, proud as can be. Chuck, Bo Buck, banana fano fo fuck. My mother was mortified.
Fantastic.
Great.
Fantastic.
We're just crowd pleasers, Steve.
Natural. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we're you know what they say about handsome men who do podcasts and work for radio. There's a reason why our gorgeous faces are stuck behind the microphone when no one can see us.
Well, that's why they can subscribe to the YouTube where we're 96 subscribers.
Whoa, that you literally just shut down the entire stream for a hot second.
Yeah, I did not hear anything.
The whole thing just like paused because I'm pretty sure he went apeshit on the mic.
I said they can watch us on YouTube where we're 96 subscribers away from 1,000.
While I would absolutely love everyone to watch us on YouTube, I don't know if they can handle my gorgeous mug.
No, I think they can. They see it on the thumbnails that we put on social media anyway.
That is true. By the way, speaking of mug, did you see the new Robbie Williams movie came out? And it had like a $100 million budget or some shit, and it grossed like $10 million in the worldwide box office.
Here's my thing. Number one, why the fuck did you make him a monkey?
Well, apparently that was his creative choice.
Oh my God, Monkey Man! Oh my!
Part of his inspiration was because he saw Pharrell as a Lego and said, "All right, this is gonna work."
But number two, you ask the everyday, ordinary person, even myself, who the fuck is Robbie Williams?
Apparently, it was a big play for the British audience.
Oh my God! I've heard so much about this movie post it coming out. outside of the original announcement that, oh, we're doing a biography type of movie on Robbie Williams, but he's going to be portrayed by a monkey. The Jimmy Neutron episodes.
Oh, what a great episode too.
Like, why are we portraying someone as a monkey that outside of the British audience are not going to know who the fuck this guy is?
I don't know what, and apparently a lot of the budget for the movie came solely for the CGI of him as a monkey.
So stupid.
Which
Dumb
makes
as,
it
like,
Well, yeah, that
dumb.
takes a
like, we need to be making more movies, and you and I have agreed on this, Steve, time and time again. More B to B plus comedy movies than anything else, which I love that One of Them Days with Keke Palmer and SZA and Cat Williams is one of the top 10 grossing domestic box office movies right now. That's a great sign for comedy movies.
Hear me out. Great idea. We create a Boondocks movie just to see Cat Williams be a pimp named Slickback one more time. I would pay oodles of money just to watch that shit.
Did I tell you, speaking of movies, since this is what we do on the show when I'm here, have I told you about the Kendrick Lamar, Trey Parker movie that's coming out July 4th?
Yes. Oh, yeah. And I will be the first person in theaters to watch it. Ethan,
I can't wait.
you know about
Ethan, have you seen the premise of this movie?
No.
Google. I want you to
No.
Google because I want to see your reaction in real time. Google Kendrick Lamar, Trey Parker movie, and then just click on the Wikipedia and read the premise.
like read the premise out loud, which will make it even funnier. Humor me for a little bit, my young Padawan.
He said, "Dance for me, puppet boy."
Dude, when I heard about this movie,
the film would depict the past and present.
Go ahead.
The film would depict the past and present coming to a head when a young black man who is interning as a slave reenactor at a living history museum discovers that his white girlfriend's ancestor once owned his. Oh my god!
This is like Get Out
That
times
is
3.
crazy.
Starring
That's
Kendrick
insane.
Lamar with the brains of South Park behind it.
I don't know if you guys have seen the Book of Mormon.
That's gonna be
but
hilarious.
The Book of Mormon in and of itself is maybe one of the funniest things of all time. I saw a thing about that play, and it was right after Josh Gad had like broken into the industry, and he was driving in a car with Jake Gyllenhaal, and he had the unreleased like demo tape of all the music, and he's playing it for Jake Gyllenhaal, and Jake's like wow, like this is really good. And then he played him one of the songs that basically like it translates to, it's African for loosely translating to "fuck you, God." And he goes, "Josh, like you can't star in this. Like this is like really controversial." And it's like 2005, 2006. And he's like, "Yeah, but like I already kind of said yes." Like little did Josh Gad realize. Now, mind you, and what makes this even funnier is that it was the year after Josh Gad had applied to be a skipper on Disney's Jungle Cruise and was denied. And when he was given a Lifetime Achievement Award by Disney, he said, "Thank you for not giving me a job at Disney, because then I would never be able to have gone on to star in one of the most raunchy plays of all time." And he openly thanked Disney for that one. All right, let's get into the actual meat and potatoes of this stuff, because we're gonna divulge way too much information on the show for us to be here for another 2 or so hours. It's gonna be a lot.
Get in the Hole is brought to you by PHI Apparel Company, our incredible merch partners. PHI Apparel Co. provides unique designs and high-quality clothing, from t-shirts to hoodies for every golfer around. With their original designs for all, there's no doubt you'll stand out on the course, the driving range, or at the 19th hole. Go to phiapparel.co and use code UNDERGROUND at checkout for 10% off any order. That's code UNDERGROUND at phiapparel.co and grab exclusive Get in the Hole podcast merch and support your favorite golfers.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Get in the Hole podcast. Live from the underground, streaming on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you can get our beautiful, gorgeous mugs, and of course, as well on YouTube. Coming to you and bringing you all the news and betting tips from across the golfing world, including the PGA, LPGA, Corn Ferry, and LIV Golf tours. And my God, is there a lot of things to go over in this action-packed Thunderdome show with Kyle Bennett on the desk stepping in for one Benjamin Pirro. And of course, what is a classic Get in the Hole shit show, fuckfest, whatever you want to call it, absolute demolition of an episode without shouting out some of our top sponsors. And we not only have one lead sponsor for the show, we have two. And the second one actually gets me really, really hyped. But the first one, of course, as always, our boys at Tomahawk Shades. While it's 19 degrees outside, I think, in New York, probably even worse in South Jersey and Philadelphia area. I was outside and had to trudge my way from a friend's house. I slept over at his place after the football games, watching the Ravens and Bills. Was stuck there because I was in 5 inches of snow, icy as hell, couldn't drive. I walk outside and I'm like, it is so damn bright. And I had some woman critique me when I have my sunglasses on. She goes, it's the winter time. And I go, yeah, lady. And it's still bright outside. And guess what? You should get your hands on what I'm wearing, my dope-ass Tomahawk Shades, rep by some of the best in the industry across all sports, including Kyle Harrison, Chris Hogan, Jazz Chisholm, Paige Baranek, and more. They are going to keep you looking fresh, just like KB right there, giving me the little ice in the veins. You can go to TomahawkShades.com or download the Tomahawk Shades app and browse their selection. Anything from sunglasses to prescription lenses, blue light glasses, and even those ski goggles for the slopes. And be sure to use code USP for 25% off your next order at Tomahawk Shades or the Tomahawk Shades app.
Yeah, we are a company that subscribes to the notion that you need sunglasses more in the wintertime than you do in the summertime.
Thank you.
Especially in the Northeast.
Dude, having like elderly people critique this is like the fourth time all year that I've had someone like make fun of me for wearing sunglasses in January. I'm like, dude, like it's as bright and when there's snow on the ground.
Oh
dude,
my God, it's the worst.
It's even worse.
It's
so
you
bad.
can't see.
You literally can't see. So Tomahawk Shades, that's where it's at. USP, 25% off. TomahawkShades.com or the Tomahawk Shades app. Check them out.
Yeah, we're also brought to you today by Paramount Plus. We love Paramount Plus here at Underground Sports Philadelphia, and perfect timing today. They send it over to us because, Steve, guess what's on Paramount Plus this week? That good old Farmers Insurance Open. Who will claim victory this year at Torrey Pines? Stream the PGA Tour on CBS and watch the Farmers Insurance Open live with the Paramount Plus with Showtime plan. Matthew Pavon won last year's event, becoming the first French golfer to win on the PGA Tour since 1907. We see another historic performance this time around. The third round starts Friday, January 24th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and the final round begins Saturday, January 25th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Get in on the action and stream the PGA Tour on CBS Live with the Paramount Plus with Showtime plan. Get started with the link in the description. Sign up for Paramount Plus today. Support the pod when you sign up for Paramount Plus. Genuinely, along with, the PGA Tour, you get the AFC Championship game coming up this Sunday with the Chiefs and the Bills on Paramount Plus. Plus, I genuinely think Paramount Plus has one of the best back catalogs of streaming out there, including in terms of bang for your buck. Paramount Plus is amazing. So again, use our link in the description, sign up for Paramount Plus, and stream the Farmers Insurance Open live January 24th and 25th with the Paramount Plus with Showtime plan. Get started today with our link in the description. Shout out to Paramount Plus.
You won't believe what I was watching on Paramount Plus the other day with Kay. I don't know how we got into it, but we were talking about like VCRs and VHS tapes, not VCRs, VHS tapes. And we were like, oh, like what fun, like colored VHS tapes did you have growing up? Ethan, you're too young for VHS tapes. I love aging you, but by the way, being that you're so young,
VHS tape is.
I know you know what it is, but I know for a fact that you never watched one.
I've
And
watched one.
have you really?
I used to have a VHS player.
He's still in that
That
age
tape
range
thing?
where like
Yeah.
his parents had.
I don't.
My parents are
look,
60.
All right, fine, fair. Okay, well, it's funny because like I look at you and I see a young, strapping 20-year-old in college, and then I look at me and I'm turning 27 in like 2 weeks, and I'm like, fuck. And then KV's
Time
old
out.
as shit.
Time
Where's
out.
old
Time out.
dirt?
Time out. Time out. Time out. Time out. I brought this to the attention of DJ because I feel fantastic at the young spry age of 31 after
Ew.
finding out, watching Seinfeld with my dad, finding out that George Costanza, Jason Alexander on Seinfeld on an episode in 1991, so 2 years before I was born, George is supposed to be 32 in Seinfeld. I look fucking fantastic for my age.
I mean,
if George is 32 in Seinfeld.
Yeah, but like, was he actually 32 at the time of? Oh God.
My hair is phenomenal.
Which is really funny too, because like you look at us and like, I'll never forget this. Like literally last week, I'm in the mall with Kay and I'm eating Chick-fil-A, and I see these 3 teenage girls, couldn't have been any older than like 15, 16 maybe, and like they're walking around dressed like hooas, and I'm like your mother let you out of the house like that, and then of course I'm probably 2 years away from having a kid, so I turn to Kay and I'm like, so you know, when our daughter's 14, she's going to be wearing a burqa. No one can see her. I want everything fucking covered. She wants to wear a skirt. That shit's going down to her ankles.
Just wait until she invites you to the 3rd grade daddy-daughter dance. And you'll be like, oh, she's so grown up.
My little girl. No, like it's so funny how like we are like you see George Costanza and you're like, wow, like I look great. But then also like there are 16-year-olds who look 20 years old and look like fantastic. Yeah. And I'm like the disparity between like when I was in middle school, all the girls had fucking brace faces and had like zits everywhere and looked like fucking who's the girl from Fairly Odd Parents? Not Trixie, the other one. Tootie, thank you. Like all the girls look like fucking Tootie, and now all the girls look like Trixie, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is insanity. Anyhow,
speaking of that, because I want to diverge more, because shout out Paramount Plus, Fairly Odd Parents on Paramount Plus.
So my point on Paramount Plus, talking about VHS tapes, and I had the Blues Clues, like Blues Birthday Bash, and it was like a light blue thing, and I found out what's on Paramount Plus. Every episode of Blues Clues. So we were sitting there for an hour just watching back episodes, and I'm like, we're 27 years old. We shouldn't be watching this right now. And she goes, yeah, but like we also watch Bluey. I'm like, nah, yeah, you're not wrong.
The theory that Trixie's like best friend, the blonde cheerleader girl,
is her fairy.
Is her fairy because of her eyes. I love that theory. And
Great
Butch Hartman refuses to confirm or deny it, which means he's confirming it. I also love the thought process that the Danny Phantom universe is just a divergent of the Fairly Odd Parents universe, because all of the characters look the same.
My favorite bit about like the Butch Hartman like universe is like you go back and you watch these old shows, and again, you can watch all this on Paramount Plus, and you see like all of like the funny jokes that were made that like you didn't pick up when you were a kid. I'm watching Danny Phantom, and it's the episode when they go to his uncle's house, and he's the owner of the Packers.
Vlad.
I'm like, this is hilarious.
And then he's a ghost. And his parents are hunting ghosts.
Uncle Vlad, the owner of the Packers.
They're on demon time.
Fucking
Steve,
amazing,
you know who you remind me of?
Who?
The box ghost.
I haven't seen Danny Phantom in so long.
He was the best recurring character ever. He would just pop up out of nowhere and be like, I am the box ghost. He would just pop up out of fucking cardboard boxes. He had no villainy to him whatsoever. He was just hiding in boxes.
Can we also acknowledge how Butch Hartman's career was saved by a baby? The Fairly Odd Parents is going to close down, and then he conjured up this idea of, oh, let's have Cosmo have a baby and name him Poof.
And then they had a dog.
They did have a dog. Classic. For Christmas one year, for Christmas, for Halloween one year at school, friend of mine, he had some like crazy costumes. He saved up a year's worth of toilet paper rolls, tied them all together, and like made like a paper mache thing, and created a Doug Dimmadome hat that was about 7 or 8 feet high, and he wore it to the bar. So
That's
That's
amazing.
so he was dressed in all white and he had the hat. And when you're at the bar, Ethan, we're at Toads, and like you look around and you're like, "Yo, where's Jamie?" And then you look up and you're like, "Oh, yep, there you go, the fucking beacon hat that's
That,
7
and then-
feet tall in the crowd."
I just watched a video last Butch Hartman thing about when they were casting the voice actor of Mark Chang, the alien from Yugopotamia.
Wait, who plays him?
It is
He's famous.
yeah. Rob Paulson.
That's it. Okay.
He also
Mark
he
Chang.
he also voiced Chester's dad, Bucky McBadbat.
Also, great last name.
So all these people come in and they say they're casting like for an alien, and they all do like the "take me to your leader" type of voice. And Rob Paulson just comes in doing the surfer dude voice, and Butch Hartman was like, "That's our guy." Puny humans.
It's fucking great.
Do I not terrify you?
We also don't acknowledge nearly enough that Chris Kirkpatrick is arguably more well known for being Chip Skylark than he is for being the 5th member of NSYNC. Let it sink in that his acting credit as Chip Skylark singing "My Shiny Teeth in Me" has more plays than any song that he wrote for NSYNC.
Yep.
Which is like
Incredible.
tremendous. Then like there are other guys too who like were like Juan Decimo, I think, was also like a big time actor who might have been Banderas for a short bit.
Juandissimo Magnifico.
Oh, so speaking of movies too, like you want to talk about like all of these different like fun like cameos and like got like people who like star in movies. I love also how I was watching recently Project X, and Miles Teller has a self-credited acting credit. It's just Miles Teller as himself. Like how amazing is that? Before he really even got big.
So the voice actor for Juandissimo, Carlos Alazraqui, apologies to Carlos if I mispronounced that. His fucking catalog of voice acting for Nickelodeon is insane.
Dude, there are some guys like
He voiced Juandissimo, Rocco from Rocco's Modern Life,
that's great.
Mr. Crocker, Juandissimo,
Yes!
Winslow and Lube from Cat Dog, and Scooter on SpongeBob SquarePants. Dude, he's the voice of
great.
Winslow, the little blue mouse from Cat Dog.
Some other all-time cameos in Fairly Odd Parents that I'm finding. Jay Leno as the Crimson Chin. Gilbert Gottfried as Dr. Bender. Adam
TV's
West
Adam
as
West
Catman.
TV's Adam West and Catman.
Alec Baldwin played Old Timmy in the Channel Chasers episode.
That was
Norm
great
Macdonald played the genie named Norm.
Yes.
Which is also fucking great. Patton Oswalt was Elmer Marmelman, the voice author for the Crimson Chin. Jason Bateman played Tommy Turner, who was Timmy's like wished up brother. What else we got? Michael Clark Duncan played Rockwell, whoever that is. I don't know. Jeff Garland was Shirley, who was like a female like side character that had a man's voice. And of course, Patrick Warburton, who's the guy who, for you Disney fans, when you go on Soarin', or also he plays Krunk, and also plays
Putty in Seinfeld.
Joe Swanson. Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
Hey, Peter. Yeah. He plays the lead Murph agent. Fucking great.
And Ben Stein is the Pixies.
We're Pixies. So they're like rapping and shit.
So good.
Oh, the only rival to the songs that were released on that show probably is anything released by Phineas and Ferb. Which, by the way, also you want to talk about song credits being more famous for a TV show than anything else. Bowling for Soup has more platinum hits in Phineas and Ferb than they do their own actual work.
That's insane.
Also, Bowling for Soup, I recently found out they are in fact not bowling on behalf of soup. They are bowling to earn soup, which in this case is money. So for all you guys who question that, it's like asking yourself, is soup a beverage? No, it is not. Is bowling for soup? Are they bowling for soup?
Holy shit.
Here we go.
So the other
Ethan,
voice
this is what happens, bro. 30 minutes in, and we're just recycling.
The voice actor of Elmer's Boyle in the Fairly Odd
My
Parents
Boyle, Bob,
is D. Bradley Baker,
are you shitting me?
who is also the voice of the giant talking rock god Olmec from Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Olmec.
That's incredible.
I was always a big Team Barracuda guy.
That's amazing.
That's actually great. All right, we are 30 minutes into this episode. Let's talk
And
some
that's
golf.
bar trivia here on the Getting the Whole podcast.
Yeah. At this point, we're basically just fucking spewing out bar trivia for our own sanity, which I think actually makes this even better than it already was in the first place. But just absolutely tremendous. So into the news. So the 2025 Player Advisory Council was announced in a memo today to the PGA Tour. Not a lot of movement has occurred. Of course, the council is well known for not only essentially ruining the PGA Tour as we know it under the leadership of Patrick Cantlay and Jordan Spieth, and in the attempt to try and close down the partnership and membership of the PGA Tour. But what's really interesting here is that there are some new names coming in. There are some old names coming back. And this all stems, I'll get into this in a bit, but joining the team this year includes Charlie Hoffman, Trevor Cohn, Max McGreevy, some names that you're familiar with, Eric Cole, Ricky Fowler, Gary Woodland, Matt McNeely, Kevin Kisner, and Brant Snedeker. Ricky, Kiz, Charlie, and Snedeker returned to their post as Cole, Cohn, McGreevy, Woodland are serving all for the first time. They'll also be joined alongside guys like Justin Thomas and Max Homa, and Brian Harmon, who have been big-time names for the Player Advisory Council. And what's really interesting about all this is that it all kind of stems from a memo that was sent out by Justin Thomas to the PGA Tour membership. And KB, I sent you a personal text of like what he had said to everybody. But I want to point out a couple of things that really make it interesting. Now, not only are we golf enthusiasts, but at the same time, we're also in the fun cast where we understand the media realm and we understand the way the business of media is conducted and works. So I think what's fascinating is that Justin Thomas brings up a lot of different ways, basically urging the tour and the members of the tour to expand on the way that they look at the sport and look at the way that look at the way they wanted to advance. And so he says a few things like this. He goes, as we continue to elevate the PGA Tour and showcase everyone's incredible talent, I've been thinking a lot about how we can better connect with fans and keep building on the momentum we've created in recent years. One thing that keeps coming to mind is the role we play in working with our broadcast partners. As many of you know, Max Homa, Adam Shank, Mac Hughes, and myself have been part of the tournament fans and sponsors PAC subcommittee. We've been having conversations with NBC and CBS to improve the broadcast for PGA Tour fans. And we're incredibly lucky to have many passionate people tuning in to watch this every week. But let's be honest, the game can feel a little distant at times. He then goes on to point out essentially how, as independent contractors within the PGA Tour, if the tour does well, they do well. It's the same thing as your run-of-the-mill financial advisor at a fiduciary. They only do better when their clients do better. You hear that with the ads. I hear it every morning driving to work with like Fisher Investments. We do better when our clients do better, right? So recently, the PGA Tour has been putting on a lot of like fan-forward research stuff. And according to the demographic of 18 to 34-year-old fans, on-course personality is the highest-ranked driver of interest for young fans. So JT makes a lot of points about how while yes, there are pre-round interviews, there's post-round interviews. Sometimes after 9, you'll go off and do an interview. It's interesting because he's like, we should be incorporating more of our own personality into the game of golf. And of course, we mentioned it in the past with the creation of TGL. And one of the big positives that we all took from it, that coworkers of mine mentioned to me after the first week and others, was, hey, we get to see Justin Thomas and Kevin Kisner and Tiger Woods, and like guys really show personality. We saw in the very first week, Ricky Fowler missed a bunker shot and was completely humbled by himself. Kevin Kisner almost took someone's eye out if the ball didn't hit the pin on contact. He was making fun of himself. In a post-round interview with TGL, Tiger said that they're lucky they broke 100 as a team. Like, crazy to think about how like the humanization of golf is really personified in TGL. And JT wants to have kind of the same thing here. He says, fans love the opportunity to be able to have connections with us as fans, and it humanizes us. The more I've watched documentaries and specials on streaming services on other sports, the more I've come to realize the main reason I love them so much is the access they provide and the insight the players are giving me. A fan of them and their craft. I had no interest in rooting for certain players, teams, coaches before watching a handful of shows and games, but the way some of them show their cards and how they go about everything makes me an even bigger fan. And then goes on to say, hey, while I understand you're playing for money and it's different than TGL where it's a lot more, you're not necessarily playing for the money, but you're playing for the fandom. Don't be afraid of, like, I get it. You want to be the first person to say no sometimes when you're having a bad day, but don't be afraid to throw on the AirPod and have an interview on the 14th hole. Talk about how you're strategizing a approach shot. I know Ben does it all the time with me and how he wants to expand on that with his own personal branding. Be like, hey, if I'm playing a par 5 at Bethpage Black, how am I approaching the tee shot to the approach shot? Am I going for the green? Am I not going for the green? How does weather affect certain things? We've seen it, ironically, as of a year ago or 2 years ago. Max Homa did a couple of mid-hole interviews at the Farmers Insurance Open when he won 2 years ago. So, like, there are guys who are willing to do it. Many, I feel like, won't because, of course, they're very caught up in their game. And as a mental sport, golf is very much in your own element, so it's hard to be able to give that like humanization kind of side. But and everyone immediately looks to the hot mics more than anything else. But KB, what do you think about JT's comments and how this is ultimately shifting the mantra of what players want to see? And at the end of the day, JT goes, "We're all owners in this tour, so let's try and do better for everyone else so that we can make more money as well." What do you think about JT's points? Do you think it has a lot of there's a lot of factors that could work, or do you think that golf as a whole, because of the way it's portrayed and individualized, and guys do well or struggle, could get them out of a rhythm, might it kind of fall flat?
I like that he brought it to the forefront. That was a long ass post that he made, and it was like, I wanted to insert the I ain't reading all that. Sorry, congratulations, or sorry that happened. But I get his point, and I think JT is like one of, if not like the current like fan favorites on the PGA Tour. Like everyone wants to see him succeed. Everyone wants to see him do well, and I feel like he's like, along with like Max, those two in particular like stand out to me as like the casual fan knows who they are and wants to see them do well week in and week out, because they're never in the mud. They're never in like these, you know, stories about the policy boards or anything like that. Like, they're just out there playing golf, doing their best. And that's why I think I like both of those guys in particular. And like, this is the stuff that matters. Like, this is the stuff that you want to see players bringing to the forefront and at least like vocalizing, because if it doesn't get vocalized, like, everyone's just going to continue to go status quo, kind of bend the knee to the guys that are on this advisory board, and things will just continue to go the way they are. You need to have some sort of like shake up with everything that's going on with the PGA Tour. So I'm happy that JT like stepped up and like voiced his opinion.
Yeah, I feel like for the most part, and like JT and Homa have been on the board for a while. Again, they're two of the main guys who stand on the fan engagement subcommittee. But when you look at the broad, what the Players Advisory Council does, it's like Scotty Scheffler is on it as well. Someone who is obviously a huge name, not only in the game, but also from a marketing standpoint, not the most marketable guy, but how can we now make myself more marketable and make other guys like me who are a little bit quieter more in the public eye and in the face. What's fascinating here too is that while I totally agree with what JT is saying, and I think TGL has proven that, as I had already stated, the addition now of bringing back Kevin Kisner and Brant Snedeker and Charlie Hoffman, elder statesmen in the game of golf, who Kevin Kisner might not even have a tour card, I don't think, anymore. But he's still technically a member of the tour. He has a conditional status or sponsor exemptions for whatever. So these guys do want to see the tour grow and thrive. And as somebody like Kevin Kisner, who's now on TGL and sees what it's like, he plays alongside Max Homa and Tiger Woods. Like I said it last week, the three of them, three notorious shit talkers all on one team playing in TGL, and it was like can't miss TV. Even right now, right? As we're recording on a Tuesday, Atlanta's playing the New York Golf Club, right? It's the first time that it's not opening night, and it's the first time that Tiger Woods is not a part of the broadcast in any way. The real fans are showing up to watch this event, and according to the live data, it looks pretty good so far. So to be able to know that this product works, if you could bring that into traditional golf, I think it'll be a godsend. We've already mentioned it ad nauseum. Like, I think you could have watched 2 full football games in the amount of time it took Sepp Straka and the final group to get through the American Express final round on Sunday. Like, bring in the TGL shot clock, bring in these always mic'd up situations, and like only do it after shots. This way, guys can focus in and take their shots. It doesn't make sense to deprive people of what makes the sport fun.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you can ask like Casey and Owen, right? What's cool about F1? You get to go inside the helmet and hear what the crew chief is talking about to his guy. You can hear Lewis Hamilton curse somebody off or say some wild stuff like, oh, hey, how should we approach this? If I have a passing lane, how do I go about it? When do I do it? Like, those things in certain sports is what keeps people coming to you. And to be able to hear someone like a Tiger Woods, or let's say like Scottie Scheffler, for example, telling us as fans in an interview with Dottie Pepper or Todd Lewis or whoever's on the course, Molly Kaufman, like, hey, like, look, like I got a putt 20 foot downhill, a little bit of break. Here's how I'm going to play it. Here's how I'm going to pace it. Maybe like Adam Scott showing you how to basically like use aim point while on the golf course within a timely manner, of course. But to be able to have those pieces, it only enhances a broadcast. And I think what's really cool is that I saw something recently with Golf Projects with Ray Williams, and they asked,
shout out friend of the program,
is YouTube golf too saturated? And Ray actually brought up a really good point. He goes, it's not necessarily oversaturated, but it's the idea that once nothing becomes new, does things start to get boring? Once it seems like all content is just the same old shit every single week, then people start off of it. What makes things fascinating is the ability to adapt and create something new that no one's ever seen. So, like, what can the PGA Tour do that they've never seen in a sport to make them more interesting and bring more eyes to the game? We've seen a rapid drop off in viewership over the last 2 years, 3 years, to the point that we're at 400,000 people to watch a signature event. It's not a good sign. And so what can they do? I don't know what the answer is quite yet, but at the very least, start doing the bare minimum, which I think is the most important part that JT's pointing out.
100%. And like, you and I were in on it from the jump, and it feels good to be right about TGL.
Yeah. Like, it's great to be able to be like, yo, hey, like, this is the real shit. This is the real deal. And it's great too, because like, they're not playing for the money. I think that's the biggest part too, right? When you're playing for something bigger than your own career, it makes things a lot easier. And when that part of it isn't as important, it makes you relax.
Mm-hmm.
Now look, does Justin Thomas get pissed off because he lost by 3 strokes to Sepp Straka this past week? Probably, yeah. And he could have easily won an extra 800K. But like, you make that kind of money in sponsorship deals already every year with Grayson and Titleist and everybody else. So like, what does it matter to you necessarily? Put on the headset, talk to somebody, get mic'd up. Like, you might not get that from the 50th ranked player on tour, but you might get it from Scotty when he's playing in his first event, possibly in 3 weeks at the Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you might be able to get that from a guy who doesn't necessarily have to play his heart out to earn $3 million every single year. Like the guy made $48 million last year, and then that's on course. So I think that's something that can really work. What's funny is that as we transition out of talking about what the PGA Tour can do better, LIV Golf is kind of right at the forefront now of, hey, we deserve our credibility. They inked a multi-year agreement with Fox, and you can now watch all 14 events starting next week, February. No, sorry, not next week. A few weeks. Actually, the weekend of my birthday. The opening event of the LIV calendar, February 6th. Someone's mic is. Whoa. Whose mic was up? There was like feedback.
Yeah,
All right,
I heard
whatever.
that too. I don't know.
Was you or me? Because I think Ethan's muted. Anyhow, first opening week of the LIV season comes February 6th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. You can watch all 14 events on LIV Golf on Fox, the Fox Sports app, and on the LIV Golf Plus app. This is actually a monumental moment for LIV, and it comes on the heels of comments from Seth Waugh, who's the PGA of America CEO, who said that whether or not he said it because he has a bias against LIV or whatnot, he said how LIV is not a superior product and they need to get a deal done ASAP in order to keep it stable. I think this deal is actually so monumental from a standpoint of LIV Golf's finally going to get some credibility. Because first of all, who's watching the CW? I used to turn on the CW to watch fucking King of Queens. I'm not turning on the
CW. The only reason I turn the CW on is to watch Philadelphia Wings away games because they're simulcast on there.
Yeah, like I'm watching the CW for the King of Queens, and they used to have Mets games broadcasted every now and then on CW or Pix 11, I think it's called now in New York. So to be able to get an agreement where not only you're on Fox, but you're also on an app, a streaming service, and you get the broadcasting teams that are part of this. When previously you were subcontracting your own broadcast teams for LIV Golf, when you were doing it on YouTube and Facebook, and the CW wasn't giving you very much, you now have access to not only all of that, but Fox broadcasting teams, which you don't usually see all that often. Obviously, golf dominated by NBC, ESPN, and CBS. But like the Fox NFL broadcast teams, you can get a situation where Tom Brady's calling you golf events. Could be pretty damn cool. Kevin Burkhardt doing it. Like there are situations where a lot of guys who are really passionate about golf who work for Fox might want to get in on this stuff and could very well have a very big impact into what LIV can bring. The question mark, of course, is playing events in Singapore and Saudi Arabia, and our guys going to wake up at 3 a.m. to watch LIV Golf? Probably not. But at the same time, let's say you are playing in Saudi Arabia and you wake up at 9 a.m. on a Saturday and you could watch every single shot for a third of the round. It's still a plus to you. It's a international tour. The DP World Tour does the same thing. Obviously, Sky Sports is sponsored by by them. TSN has the DP World Tour. They're also an international tour where they're playing in Canada, Europe, Asia, wherever. So like it doesn't hurt them at all. I think this is actually a huge move for LIV Golf, and all of it spurred by their brand new CEO, who you have a bit of vested interest
brother, in. This guy stinks.
Apparently not for LIV though.
He's a slime ball. That whole I don't even want to say his name.
Don't say it. But how important is this move, and how could this really change the credibility that LIV Golf has earned in the space, and could possibly even now make them a profitable entity?
Well, when you brought up the broadcast, all I could think of was Joe Davis calling LIV Golf.
Be hilarious.
Which would be electric. Because he is genuinely play-by-play broadcaster number one for me right now. He's unbelievable. Love Joe really Davis. Plus he's like 34 or something. Like he's super young. Yeah, I mean, it's huge. Like you said, like the crossover and the promotion. Like, I don't know how it will equate because I think we also see things that, like, this country is Hoolers for football, and we see constant promotion late in the year about the UFL on Fox and all of that, and when the XFL was a thing and all of that, and it's like their numbers aren't great on the broadcast, but you wonder how many of those commercials are bringing people in to even just like watch one game. I kind of equate it to that, where it's like you see it, oh, it's in your frontal brain and kind of knowledge that it's happening, but I don't know how much it's going to equate to people tuning in per se. Now, I will say, like, Fox has acquired this. They just acquired IndyCar broadcast rights as well. So they're kind of assembling a nice little like B tier level of broadcasts for sports that are non-traditional to go along with their baseball and football. I mean, it's like you said, it's definitely better than the CW, because a lot of the times, even basic cable is Fox. If it's on channel here, it's channel 5.
Yep,
If it's
same here.
on, you'll see that oh, there's sports on. Cool, let me turn this on or whatever.
Exactly.
That works. How long that lasts remains to be seen. Because when does the LIV Golf season start again?
February.
So right after the Super
and
Bowl.
it runs through what, June, July?
So right after the Super Bowl, there will probably be some like, I think it'll be like a coin flip of like the early viewership of people who are like, okay, football's done. I'm taking a break from watching sports for like a week because
Yeah.
I'm missing football. But then people will get stir crazy and wonder, what can I watch? And it's like you start hearing the Masters commercials and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that helps scratch
Well,
the itch of the golf early on.
So I think you bring up an interesting point, right? So they have a bunch of B-list content, right? They're not playing LIV Golf every single week. So kind of similar to the Masters, right? Everyone goes crazy when CBS during the playoffs airs that one Masters commercial and you hear Ray Charles, Georgia. Like, it's like, oh my God, I'm so excited for April. The beauty of, I think, what they can do here now also to have the advertising ability with Fox Sports. Not only is Fox on every streaming app in the world, whether you have YouTube TV, Hulu TV, Fubo, Sling, any of those platforms, you can get Fox. So now you can watch LIV whenever you want. But you even like go back to the UFL, right? Per Nielsen, the UFL last year reached 32 million unique viewers. They averaged 850,000 total viewers per game, which is a 34% increase over the 2023 XFL and USFL combined season average. Network broadcast averaged 945,000 viewers through the championship game, up over 9% from the year prior. Cable telecasts averaged 630,000 viewership. And viewership for UFL Today, ESPN's weekly digital post-game show, was up 20% versus 2023 across YouTube, Facebook, and the ESPN app. So 32 million viewers, 850K total views per game. You have the opportunity where there's not going to be LIV Golf advertising every single week. You can hammer advertising the week prior to every single event, and you might be able to turn some heads. You might be able to get some viewership. Are they going to get 860,000 views? No, because the TGL is getting that. But they can probably get 200K, which if they get 200,000 people to watch the opening event on February 6th for LIV Golf in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, let's just say, worldwide, by the way. Compare that to a PGA Tour Sunday at the Century where they got 430,000 views. It's a pretty damn good jump. Think about it. The CW in their final, they had 85,000 people view. There was zero advertising. I didn't even know what happened. There was more advertising for the MLB draft than there was the championship round of LIV Golf. And we already know how bad a product the MLB is when it comes to being able to advertise anything. So if they can get even half the numbers the PGA is getting, I think it's a very big success. And this could be more like a monumental curve for LIV Golf, pending this agreement that we don't even know is going to happen, which has been on the table for 2 years now. This could finally be a breaking point for LIV in order to get ahead for once.
Speaking of, did you see the Cleeks rebrand?
I still don't know what a clique is. So until I get more confirmation on what the fuck a clique is, then I will get involved and be curious. But yeah, I saw it. Wasn't bad.
Now, I am of the notion that in all sports, and I think I get this a lot from lacrosse because I hate when the stick is used in just a basic way in a logo. It looks tacky. I didn't hate the Cleeks original logo with the golf club being in it. The new one looks like the way that like Jaguar rebranded, or like all of these like companies are doing like this like modern basic ass rebrand. I don't know. And it looks like they have like the Tesla logo as the fucking T. I like the original one better.
One of those, like, yeah, it's one of those like super simplistic modern logos. It's
and it doesn't match any of the other logos that the league has.
The rest of them are like funky and unique.
Like, there's some very good logos. I think looking at them again from when we first looked at the logos, like looking at them like right now in a row on their website, there's some good ones. Are they like astounding, like blow the doors off? Not exactly. I still think Range Goats is elite, especially since they interacted with us the most on social media. But like, there's some like Rom's team's logo is sick. Like, it looks like a Mortal Kombat fucking icon.
Do you know? So you know, the Cleeks logo, I think this actually sums it up pretty well. There's a player on the Cleeks, and his last name suffices to say is probably the best way to describe it. It's Bland, Richard Bland.
He should be the captain.
He should be. But Martin Kamer is gonna hold on to that one. No, it's a very boring logo. I don't think it gives a lot of brevity. I think a lot of these logos are cool. I think High Flyer still looks like he's stealing the Quicksilver logo or the one of those like snowboarding brands.
Yeah,
Ironheads isn't bad. Majestics looks like he stole it from like Norwegian Cruise Line.
Yeah, Majestics is kind of cool because the color scheme makes it cool.
Yeah, but like in general, really the only logos that I think are like really like stand out awesome are Range Goats, and I think Crushers is really good, and Legion. Fireballs is cool, but
I also think Smash has grown on me with the like kind of edgy looking golf tee.
You know the problem is I can't get behind the Fireballs because the idea of a fireball with sunglasses being and their lead guy being Sergio Garcia, I just can't get behind the idea of that.
Yeah.
To me, it just doesn't make sense. But
like, I think on a hat, top 4, Range Goats, Rom's team, Legion 13, is it? Smash and Crushers.
I actually really got to see if they have a Range Goats hat that I could buy like ASAP for this golf season. That's going to be elite.
I'll look on their website now while we.
And I'll most certainly be needing some Crushers gear because I gotta represent my boy Bryson. By the way, dude, Bryson DeChambeau signed with Reebok.
Reebok's been making a huge Reebok was a sponsor in Surviving Barstool.
Like, I'm amazed at the comeback of Reebok.
I'm all for it. Reebok fucking rules. I'm a huge Reebok fan. Like, I miss Reebok NFL jerseys. Those are the best.
You know what my first pair of basketball shoes were? They're the John Wall like zigzags.
I had
Those
Reebok
were
pumps.
elite.
I had the pumps.
Oh, you had pumps?
Mm-hmm.
What are you, like Shaq?
I was fucking White Mamba shit.
That's so you too.
It was sick.
You were the kid in middle school who was like, hey baby, pump my shoes up.
And then I had ones. They were these Reeboks that it had like this giant. It wasn't a pump, but it was this thing on it, and it was like to get you active. And like each button you pushed was like a different game that you had to like do different steps with. I have to look those shoes up because it was like the most like way ahead of its time technology because I had them in elementary school, so like early 2000s. But
I
Reebok
still have the Air
is
Mags.
awesome. I would love to work with Reebok putting it out there on this program on the live airways. Reebok, we would love to work with you as a company. I think Reebok has some of the best, like their apparel and everything fits so well. It's not tight, it's not too baggy. Like it has enough breathing room for us big boys, Steve. And I just think their shoes are so underrated. Like they're simplistic, but they're clean and they're not. I love Reebok.
Reebok, when they were partnered with JJ Watt during his playing career, was also some elite stuff as well. That was that was always quite quality. And you know what? To be able to work with Reebok and get a hold of Bryson would not be the worst thing.
Clip that, Ethan. Clip
ever.
that.
Clip that shit. Speaking of clipping, so the Genesis Invitational has officially moved away from Riviera Country Club, of course, with the wildfires going on in California. Which, by the way, I follow this guy on social media. He does like cooking videos, and great follow. His name's Aria. He's from Canada, but he moved to LA, and he was like, yo, hey, like I make cooking content, and like instead of me just being a dickhead with a channel who's just gonna put out content, I'm gonna deliver burgers that I make at home, and I'm gonna deliver them to frontline workers. So he literally would like drive through LA and like would go up to police and be like, hey, like, can I get closer in my car, like closer to the fire? And literally shows a video of him up close to the fire, like sweating his ass off, handing burgers and like and sandwiches to frontline firefighters and policemen and everything else. And as somebody who has a platform, albeit not a huge one, but a growing one, I don't think we can stress enough how important it is to be able to use our platform for good and to support people who are working their tails off in order to support the greater community. It's not fucking hard to shout out those who actually do put in the work. I give my wife a ton of credit for being a nurse during COVID. Like the people who work in the fire department and the police department and ENTs, medical staffs, like while I have never dealt with a wildfire in my life, the idea that I have friends in California and I have coworkers who are out there who my manager goes on his morning jogs and sees the flames like yards from his apartment. It's kind of a shocking revelation, and to be able to give appreciation to those people, I want to start like a GoFundMe or like some sort of a page to raise some money. I think that'd be a great thing for our brand too, to be able to give back in that way. So shout out to everybody who's involved in supporting the wildfire relief efforts. Of course, it's been a paramount thing in every sport. Everyone's been talking about it. So best of luck to everybody who's been fighting through it. I have friends in San Diego who are telling me that they have been told to possibly evacuate because the embers are starting to travel from all the way up in the Palisades all the way down. But with that being said, the Genesis Invitational has been moved to Torrey Pines. And with that has come a mass withdrawal of players out of the event because, of course, the Farmers is this week. The Genesis is happening in the middle of February. Instead of players playing at the same golf course 2 weeks in a row or 2 weeks in a close span, a lot of guys have chosen to withdraw from the event. So with that, a huge rundown of guys who have withdrawn: Akshay Bhatia, Mackenzie Hughes, Nikolai Højgaard, Colin Morikawa, Scotty Scheffler is out another week with a hand injury. Harry Hall, Xander Schauffele, he's also dealing with a rib injury, and Tristan Hadley have all withdrawn so far. So guys who are in this week: Matthew Naismith, Carl Yuan, Garrett Higo, Pearson Coody, Hayden Springer, Wesley Bryan, and S.H. Kim, just to name a few. And the list keeps on growing. But the big question that I have here for you, and we had I'm not going to divulge trade secrets here, but we had a meeting with an important person about a thing that's happening this PGA Tour season. And
yeah, welcome to the Get in the Hole podcast, a first official
don't
first official up to something season.
Yes.
We've had multiple up to something seasons at this company. Congratulations on your first.
Yes. The fact that I got my first ever media pass might be a fucking insane boost in my ego. I'm gonna hold it over everyone's head. But there's going to be an event later on this year that we met with some important folks, and it's going to be at a brand new golf course, a long-time stable event at a new place. You're probably already thinking about what it is, but I think the PGA Tour kind of screwed up here. I think I understand that you want to go somewhere that has tour conditions, and Torrey Pines being a golf course that has hosted majors across multiple different landscapes, the LPGA, the PGA, the U.S. Amateur. It's held the Pac-12 tournament for quite some time. I do think the PGA Tour should have went somewhere that was different, give players a different look and feel. You could have went somewhere like a San Francisco, could have went to Harding Park, another place that hosted a major not more than 3 or 4 years ago at the PGA Championship. Could have went somewhere to Las Vegas, or could have played somewhere in the Arizona area as well. I understand trying to keep it in the metro area of LA, San Diego, but back-to-back weeks at Torrey Pines I don't think was the best idea. I think the beauty, particularly in our meeting that we had, was to be able to bring an event somewhere brand new. Not only golfers haven't played it in a long time, if at all, but also it gets you excited for something new. Like one of my favorite things, and I'm looking forward to this event when it comes around, because I'm finally going to be able to give a course breakdown and insights into things, and people want to see new stuff. I personally think the tour kind of messed up playing Torrey Pines 2 weeks in a 4-week period. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the way that the PGA Tour schedules for the past couple of years. I get wanting to bring it to a course that I feel like is universally or damn near universally like enjoyed and a good area where people enjoy it. But I also, playing devil's advocate to your point, am looking at it from the standpoint of they had such minimal time to pivot, and we're probably looking for one, the best course in terms of TV broadcast to have people tune in and have people wanting to watch. So it's like, what can we do? Where can we go that will get us the best viewership aesthetically on television? And then also getting people to the event. Torrey Pines is, that's a bucket list place for a lot of people that would attend the event. So it's like, let's give them another opportunity to go at a lesser event per se. So I think it's smart. I see where you're coming from, but I also see why the PGA Tour did what they did, especially with like their hands tied in terms of timing more than anything else.
I just think that at the end of the day, when you do have this limited time and you need to pivot somewhere, like people are already going to have the chance to go see the Farmers this week. Why go back again a following week? I just think that there are so many good golf courses, particularly in that part of the country, in Southern California, that you could have very well figured out a way to make it work. I mean, look, they played 3 golf courses at the Amex this week. You could have very well just played 2 of them and then saved one of them. Like at the end of the day, La Quinta Country Club is a all-time golf course. You have the Die course at PGA West. You have the second PGA West golf course. They could even, I don't know if it mattered in terms of where they went, if they had to keep it in LA because of the tourism that it brings. But you could have very well played, if you wanted to go to Oregon, you could have played Abandon, like a golf course that also has hosted majors multiple times over, but hasn't been featured on the tour calendar in over a decade. Like Bandon Dunes is amazing, and granted a public course, but telling me you can't rent it out for a weekend, you can't give the place oodles of money in order to go. They could have went to Paso Tiempo. They could have went to places like the Quarry and Madeiras, and like there's a ton of places that you could have gone. I wouldn't have gone to like LACC because that place was a shit show for the US Open, but you could have had so many different opportunities to find somewhere new and fun to go to. People made jokes. They were like, hey, like, what if we played the Waste Management and then the week after play the Genesis at the Waste Management? Like that too would have been just hilarious. 2 straight weeks of golf at the world's biggest party. So I don't know. I think there could have been a better way, but I understand the tour for wanting to keep it within the general LA, San Diego metro area. There's also a lot of great courses in like Carlsbad that you could have went to. But at the very least, while it is going to mean the Genesis will have a loaded field, it does hurt the presentation of this event. And it's funny because last year after this event, everyone's like, oh, who the fuck's Matthew Pavon? Who's like all these guys in the top 10? If you pull up the Farmers Insurance Open leaderboard from last year, like I think everyone was like, oh, who are these guys? Who's Nikolai Højgaard? Who's Jake Knapp, Nate Lashley, Steven Yeager, Bo Hostler? Like, no one knew half these guys. And now with everyone withdrawing, Colin and Højgaard out and Xander, everyone's like, oh, it's a Corn Ferry Tour event. I'm like, no, like, don't necessarily write it off as that immediately. We're still going to have Ludwig Oberg and Hideki Matsuyama, Jason Day, Will Zalatoris, Sanjay Im, Justin Rose, Max Homa, Tony Finau. Like, we're going to have really good guys in this event. Sahith Theegala as well. Gary Woodland. Like, it's still a very strong event, but people are already counting it out as an alternate field event. And I think it's unfair for that to be done. And it's unfair for people who routinely want to go to this event. It's usually a top flight event, has a very low scoring sort of feel. I think like the best score to date over the last decade has been somewhere around the like the 14 under area, 15 under actually. So like to be able to have that kind of an event is really special. Granted, we'll have it twice, but it sucks that benefiting one and lacking off for the other one, knowing that the Genesis as a signature event is going to also have a lower field as well, kind of takes away from this event where it's a larger field, it's almost more intense, not as much money, but still has the same gravitas as a Big Ten event.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, like you said, like there's still going to be very good players.
Heads, yeah.
Yeah. So,
but it still hurts the way I overall look at it and say, hey, like we could have better for the tour. But that's also me as a hardcore golf junkie who's not going to want to deal with people saying, oh, it's a secondary event this week. Who's going to want to watch it? But the viewership will tell us more. We're going to take a short break. On the other side, we have our shout outs of the week and a very fun segment for KB. We're bringing back part 4 of Golfer or Country Artist.
Yeah,
right here on Getting the Hole. Don't go anywhere, folks. Hello and welcome back. It's Getting the Hole, KB. That reaction was fucking tremendous. That's the energy I want every week on this show. Clip that and send it to Ben, Ethan. We need that done. Oh, man. Second half of the show is we're an hour and 12 in, brought to you by Acorn Hills. Oh, man. I am jazzed right now. Can you imagine it? Started out of a dorm room in Western PA, Acorn Hills is dedicated to supporting environmental efforts by offering biodegradable clothing tags, packaging, recycled materials, and for every dollar spent, the National Forest Foundation will plant a seedling to promote afforestation across this great land. And man, with these wildfires, afforestation out in the Palisades, a huge boost. Go to acornhillsco.com. Get yourself some apparel today, some awesome gear, anywhere from quarter zips to polos, hats, and beyond. And again, every single dollar is going to help possibly towards the afforestation of the Palisades once these wildfires get tamed. Again, acornhillsco.com and use code GITH15 for 15% off your next order and look your best from the ground up. Let's get into some shout outs of the week. We start off with Big Sepp Straka, the big Austrian, who honestly, he deserves a better nickname than that. It's like when James Paxton, they called him the Big Maple. Fucking love that name. Believe it or not, only had 2 bogeys the entirety of the week as the big Austrian grabs his 3rd PGA Tour victory in 5 years. A huge victory over Justin Thomas, beating him by a total of 3 strokes. Let's get some shots to Blades Brown. This is actually a great story, too, because a 17-year-old who turns pro says, I'm not going to go to college. My first ever event comes at a situation where you're playing 3 different golf courses. He manages to shoot a 6 under, 210. He missed the cut by 2 strokes after 3 days, but he did shoot a very impressive end round leading at La Quinta Country Club, 64 in the second round. So big shout out to Blades Brown. Now, 2 shout outs I want to give that are really interesting, and I want your take on these 2, KB. Scotty Scheffler has surpassed Rory McIlroy for most consecutive weeks at world number 1, 123 weeks. He only now trails Dustin Johnson, Greg Norman, and Tiger Woods. Do you know how long he would need to be world number 1 in order to surpass Tiger Woods? Starting this very day.
We'll both be dead.
Probably 10 years and 9 months. Can he do it?
At the rate this world's going, we might be dead.
Dustin Johnson is next on the list at 139 weeks. Hopefully, Scotty will surpass that. Greg Norman is second all time at 331 weeks. Oh, how agony! How agony and irony come together all in one. And of course, Tiger has 683 weeks at world number one. Like, you want to talk about like the records that go unbroken? Like Joe DiMaggio's 56 game hitting streak might get broken up at some time. 683 weeks as the world number one golfer is insane. I'm pretty sure that was 14 years.
I would like to see Scotty beat Greg Norman. I think that's attainable.
Apparently, Greg Norman wants to have a debate with the PGA Tour guys and be like, yeah, like we had a superior product, but it only got battered down by the public and the media. Like, all right, shut the fuck up.
Greg Norman just wants to be in the public eye. He's such a
clown.
He's such a hooer for the public spotlight.
That's the second time today we use the term hooer, and I
love
that.
Third time.
I love it. Do you know that for Christmas, Kay's mom was gonna get me a Greg Norman like quarter zip, and Greg Norman's apparel is available at Costco, and so whenever we go, Kay's like, oh, this
Doom.
She goes, oh, like this looks nice, and I'm like, yeah, but it's the shark, and she goes, what's wrong with the shark? And I go, it's Greg Norman. She goes, who's Greg Norman? And I'm like, it's the guy that I talk about every single week on this show when you sit there on the couch and you play with your fucking with your Nintendo Switch and you're playing Animal Crossing and you hear me go, Greg Norman. She's like, oh, it's that guy? I'm like, this is the epiphany you're having now. It's like when Smalls discovered Babe Ruth wasn't the great Bambi. That wimpy deer. All time right there. Final shout out, and this is probably the most fucked up story of the week. Dawson Armstrong was the roughly 30th alternate for the Korn Ferry Tour Bahamas event this week. He knew alternates don't typically travel to the Bahamas or to Venezuela or wherever they go for events. They usually just don't show up. So if someone has to withdraw, the alternates usually never show up, and the very few who do usually get a shot. So it turns out, according to the rules, and Ryan French of Monday Q Info, again, friend of the show here, had pointed out, apparently, according to PGA Tour and Korn Ferry Tour rules, you must withdraw from the event in order for the next guy up to be listed as the following alternate. So when you're the 30th alternate, you need 30 guys ahead of you to withdraw. Apparently, 3 guys ahead of him did not withdraw. He found them on social media, asked them, hey, are you going to the event? And they're like, no. And they're like, all right, sweet. Can you withdraw? He shows up to the Bahamas as the second alternate. It's like, oh no, this isn't good. Tee times start going off at 7:30. At 7:20, one guy withdraws. So now he's now first alternate. At 7:50, 20 minutes in to the rounds of the first day, someone withdraws and he gets in as the 30th alternate on the list. Unfortunately, did not make the cut. He shot 2 rounds of even par, 72. But what a great story, because this guy was not going to get starts on tour probably all year because of his status. So to be able to take a shot and have the chance to just play in the field, to shoot 2 rounds of even par while making the cut would have gotten him more starts, but a really good week, top 10, would have given him starts all year. At the very least, he got a shot, which I think is really cool, and also fucked up that the PGA Tour doesn't have a better system where guys need to verbally withdraw in order for the next guy up to be considered.
Yeah, 100%. I also have 2 shout outs whenever you'd like.
Yeah, please give me them.
My first shout out happened today. Shout out to Marshall's, the department store. I took a nice little mosey on trip to Marshall's the last 2 weeks.
I have to go soon.
Dude, let me tell you, when you get to our age demographic, shopping at Marshall's is the place to go to find some of the coolest stuff. So last week I go to Marshall's, I find these amazing white and burgundy Pumas for $34.99. Absolute steal. They go with my burgundy Bryce Harper jersey. I love it. Just beautiful stuff. Puma's also great. Today I go to Marshall's after I get done work. I'm just let me just go look around and see what I can find. Mosey on into the shoe aisle again. Find a stunning pair of Nunbush dress shoes, which are it's a little class for the boy.
Yeah.
My size, brown dress shoes. Now, Steve, I have been looking for brown dress shoes for years. And for people that don't know, I have some wide ass feet. So dress shoes are difficult to like find that like
You do
fit
got
me
big
that,
ass feet, bro.
that don't crush my metatarsals into smithereens. I find these dress shoes. They were calling to me. I put them on. They fit like I felt like fucking Cinderella. Put them on. They fit perfectly. I look at the price tag on these bad boys, Steve.
$40.
$28 for some Nunbush dress shoes that my dad did a little Google searching for me. Everywhere else that you find them, they're on sale at a bunch of places because I guess they're like a different model or whatever. Yeah. Regular price, anywhere from $90 to $120 shoes.
You will not believe what someone posted about, and it's not making me want to go to Marshall's. Someone found Travis Scott's for $45.
That's insane.
Some places are reporting Yeezys.
That's wild.
Like Adidas had like a closeout sale. Oh, all Yeezys 45% off because we just want to get rid of the inventory. Apparently, they also sold a bunch to Marshalls. So could very well get your hands on some pretty dope ass shit soon, which would be absolutely awesome.
100%. My final shout out. Steve's going to hate this, but I'm going to love it. Shouts to Saquon Barkley, not only for his performance in the NFC divisional round against the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams Wikipedia page has since been changed to say that their owner is now Saquon Barkley because he has absolutely dominated them this year. Amazing performance to send the Eagles to the NFC Championship game. The real big shout out I want to give him, and I think this is super cool, and I know Giants fans and Eagles fans, you know, we're a classy rivalry. We can talk ball, but we don't really hate each other at the end of the day.
I hate you.
You love me.
Deep down.
I think it's really cool that Saquon Barkley, in his personal suite box this weekend at Lincoln Financial Field, invited Daniel Jones and Sterling Shepard to the game. I think
Daniel Jones. I like Sterling Shepard, though.
I think that's super cool that those guys still have a great friendship and relationship. And both Daniel Jones and Sterling Shepard were like, yeah, I'm going to come support my friend. And Saquon hooked them up being in his suite to go watch him play and the performance he had. I think it's cool that those guys are still friends, even after all the chaos that's been in the media and around the Giants with their tenures there. I think that's super cool and a really cool friendship that those guys are still super close.
I don't hate Saquon Barkley. I actually appreciate him. I saw something on the broadcast when they were playing the Giants in that final week that apparently Saquon Barkley is like the personal mentor to Tyrone Tracy. Yes. And like they train together now, and it's like it's a big bro kind of thing. He's like,
yeah, Tracy like DM'd him on Instagram.
Like Saquon still feels that like even though he has an allegiance somewhere else that's now a rival of the Giants, like he'll always still have a appreciation for the team. And I think like Tiki Barber when he was like oh like he's dead to me, he eventually took it back. But like I think it's interesting because Saquon is really deep down a really good person, and I truly want the best for him. I don't want to see the Eagles win the Super Bowl, but I want to see Saquon do really well. So I'm at like a kind of a crossroads with how I feel. Honestly, if I get another Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl, I'm going to shoot myself in the foot.
I was going to ask you because I know you also hate the Commanders because they're a division rival. Where do your allegiances lie in this championship?
You want to laugh? I don't like. I mean, it's funny. Like people like WFAN was bringing up like how it's a fan hell for Giants fans that it's Commanders and Eagles. I'm like, it'd be way worse if it was Cowboys-Eagles.
Fair.
Like honestly, I'm a Jaden Daniels truther. I love him. I love Terry McLaurin. At the end of the day, while I am a Giants fan, and while all my friends make fun of me because he's like, oh, it's your journalism side coming out. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be a objective fan. I honestly want to see the Commanders win. I want to see Jaden Daniels do some shit no one's ever done.
Ethan, you hear this? He doesn't want the betterment of the company. He doesn't want the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl so that we get more clicks, we get more views, we get more downloads, more press time, all that stuff. He wants us to. That'll be remembered in history.
But like, I personally really wanted to see a Chiefs. What is it? Chiefs and Ravens AFC final, and I really wanted to see a Lions Ravens Super Bowl. I would love to see a Ravens Commanders Super Bowl and shut everyone up and have two incredibly talented quarterbacks One a little older, one the
You
rookie.
mean Bills?
No, well, I wanted Ravens and Commanders because of the Lamar and Jaden comparison.
No.
At this point, I want to see the Chiefs, and honestly, I want to see Mahomes win a third. I think that the Chiefs are a legit contender. I don't want the Eagles to win. If the Commanders
No.
make it to the final, I'll be rooting for the Commanders because I am a Jaden Dales truther.
Ew.
Yes, I am a Jaden Dales truther. And
Ew.
the Giants were 2 Tommy DeVito wins away from having Jaden Dales in the draft. What a sham.
This fucking guy.
I don't think there's a team I want to win the Super Bowl at this point.
As the Patriots fan in the room, world's
Like
smallest
the Eagles,
violin, my
I
friend.
despise the Eagles because the Eagles I don't like the Eagles after the last Super Bowl we played you guys against. That was rough.
That is
I mean, the
genuinely
Commanders are probably the top
greatest Super
team
Bowl of the
that
last decade.
That was that was such
That was
a
a
good
horrible
Super Bowl, but like
that was a horrible
so
Super Bowl
tragic.
with my gut.
That's a great one.
Dude, I watched that game.
Yeah, I
I
can
must have
imagine
had
for
bad,
like being a fan standpoint.
I had bad buffalo chicken dip, and it was coming out both ends immediately after Nick Foles threw that tutty. It was not good for me. It was not good for me. No, I'm rooting for the Commanders. I think Lamar is the MVP over Josh Allen, even though the real MVP is Joe Burrow. And if it can't be a quarterback, then it should be Saquon Barkley. But I digress. Final shout outs of the week are happy birthday shout outs every single week. You know, on this day in 1940, God gave us a legend. 5-time PGA Tour Player of the Year. The 1962 PGA Tour Rookie of the Year. He's first all-time in major victories with 18. He won the PGA Tour scoring average leader 6 years in a row from 71 to 76. He won the money list 8 times in his career. He's one of only 3 golfers to have the Vince Lombardi Award of Excellence. He's one of the PGA Tour's 11 Lifetime Achievement Award winners. Happy 85th birthday to the Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear. Absolute freaking legend.
Now I'm going to insert the very hilarious old man at the microphone meme that gets me every time on Twitter. Jack Nicklaus? The Joker?
Here's Johnny. Other birthdays this week include Nick Hardy, who had his yesterday, Andrew Putnam on Saturday, and Adam Shank on Sunday. So happy birthday to all of you. And now, the moment that you've all been waiting for.
Cue the 90s Bulls music.
The Alan Parsons Project. Hold on, shout out to StreamYard. We do have some music that we could play. I don't know if any of this is going to be good. What is this? Perfect. It is time for Golfer or Country Artist Part 4. Ethan, it's your first time getting to appreciate this, but it is going to be an absolute banger. KB, I'm going to give you a name. You must tell me if it is a golfer or a country artist. These names come directly from one of either the Korn Ferry Tour's Bahamas Great Abaco Classic from this past weekend or Country Evolution's Artists to Watch in 2025.
I'm not going to know a single one of these.
Probably not.
No.
Names are on the board, and we begin. Braden Jameson. If you need spelling too, because it might help a little bit,
yeah,
I'll provide. All right. So here, let me write
How
these
would that
down
help?
as well. What?
How would that help? How would spelling
it would
help?
help. It would help with the Country Artists Association for sure.
I guess. Yeah.
It actually would. You'd be surprised. Braden Jameson.
Oh, that's not where I thought this was going, Steve.
What?
I didn't think that's how Braden was going to be spelled. It's more basic than I thought.
See, I tell you that's the joke here.
Golfer.
Braden Jameson is a country artist.
God damn
Number 1 on the Who to Watch list in 2025. Next up, we got Eli Locke.
Eli. Okay, that's how I thought it would be spelled.
The last name for me is where this gets really interesting.
Golfer.
Eli Locke is a country artist.
You got to be kidding me.
0 for 2 on the day. We go to our next
Locke as a
big
country
pick.
artist. I'm shocked.
Austin Hitt.
Now, this is a great name for both of these things.
Exactly. You have no idea how long I spent conjuring these names up.
Now, would he go 3 country artists in a row is the question.
I had a teacher in high school who gave us an A, B, C, or D quiz. Every answer was A, and I felt like a moron. I also had another one. There was a Scantron quiz, and the bullets spelled out suck.
I'm gonna say 1 in every 3. You hit 333. You're typically a Hall of Famer. I'm gonna go golfer again.
Austin Hitt, survey says, is a golfer. There you go. He finished 4th at the Bahamas Abaco Classic. Next up, this is another great one. This guy sounds like he came from Georgia. Garrett Bradford.
Oh, he's totally Carson Beck's new
Boyfriend?
placement at Georgia.
They found him in some cornfield in Georgia and said, perfect, you're our guy.
Oh, look, it's Garrett Bradford. Country singer.
Garrett Bradford is a country singer. There you go. 2 for 2. He's on a hot streak. He's currently batting 500. You move on to our next one. Tanner Gore.
Oh, that's a great name.
This guy actually sounds like a baseball player and not a golfer or a country artist.
Golfer. I'm hoping he's a golfer.
Tanner Gore is a golfer. There you go. You're on a hot streak.
I'm buying Tanner Gore stock. That's a great name. All name team right there. Tanner Gore.
Our next category, our next player, very well could be. Honestly, could very well be the son of a country artist, or it could very well be a golfer. Robbie Shelton. Any relation to Blake? We'll find out.
Robbie Shelton. Now that off the bat sounds like a country singer, but it also sounds like in the same breath as like a Corey Connors or like a Shane Lowry type of golf name. Can I get his country of origin?
The United States of America.
Okay.
It's only an incredibly American name.
I know, but it could sound like Irish or British too.
He's from Mobile, Alabama.
Okay. Loves the Senior Bowl.
He actually went to the University of Alabama. Interestingly enough.
I'm going to say, since he went to college, he's a golfer.
You know, country singers can go to college, dude.
Yeah, but a lot of them skip that and just go right to Nashville.
Not necessarily, dude. He is, in fact, a golfer. Robbie Shelton is a golfer. You are 4 of 6 so far. Now, this is where the spelling gets really interesting because, like, it can sway many ways. Scotty Hastings.
Sounds like a fucking race car driver.
That too.
Scotty Hastings. Can I get his age? Or would that give that away?
Scotty Hastings. He is... Scotty Hastings doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. You gotta realize too, right? Like it's you're either playing on the Corn Ferry Tour or you're a up and coming artist. So like you likely don't have any sort of thing to
I know, but famousbirthdays.com exists. And they put fucking 12-year-old YouTubers and TikTokers.
Here, hold on. Scotty Hastings' birthday. This guy sounds like one of those guys. No, it first thing that pops up is Scott Hastings, the basketball player, was born June 3rd, 1960. Don't think it's him. All right, we have no info on who Scotty Hastings is outside of whether or not he's a golfer or country artist.
Being that he doesn't have a Wikipedia page, and I feel like if you're an up-and-coming country artist, you're gonna have some sort of digital footprint. I'm gonna go with my gut and say he's a golfer.
Scotty Hastings is a country artist.
Terrible country artist name. He needs to rethink his career.
Breaks up the mold. You know, it's funny. I thought you were going to get it because Scotty with a Y versus Scotty with an IE for Scheffler might have given you a little bit of a hint there. I thought that was a way up. Next up,
terrible name. Rethink.
Is he a golfer, a country artist, or is he the son of Batman? Timothy Wayne.
Timothy Wayne.
Are you
Timothy
John Wayne?
Country
Are you
artist.
John Wayne?
Country artist. Final answer.
Timothy Wayne? Country artist.
Yeah.
Bang. Good job. Next up, also sounds like a baseball player, Spencer Hatcher.
Ooh, that does sound like a baseball player.
Baseball name.
Golfer.
Our man, Spencer Hatcher, is a country artist. Ooh. Your final clue of the day. You have 5 correct. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 wrong.
So I'm
Can
5
you
and
go?
4.
Can you, for the first time in history, bat over 500?
Well, I like that I'm locked in at 500. Ooh, what
John
fucking
Vanderland.
He's like honorable mention all name team. The only thing that deters it, his name is John.
John Vanderland, golfer or country artist?
Golfer.
John Vanderland, Kyle Bennett, for the first time in history, you are batting over 500. He is a golfer. And you have conquered the first route in 4 tries of golfer or country artist, brought to you by nobody. Absolutely stoic.
Yes. Brought to you by Paramount Plus, actually, Steve. Because we'll get into that in a minute.
The segment is brought to you by Paramount Plus. I love it. Oh my goodness. With that being said, let's get into the beer money. Brought to you by our boys over at Kenwood Beer, your number one for all things light beer. You know, Kenny Gainwell had a monster day, even with Saquon Barkley on the ground. And the beauty of getting to watch the Eagles another week, even though I'm rooting against them actively, is that I can sit on my couch and I can sit there and I can drink a 120 calorie, 8 grams of carb light beer that very well might be the best thing I've ever had on this planet. He's the routine drink of choice for folks who want a balanced, flavorful, and no frills beer that's right for any occasion. And you can get your hands on some ice cold Kenwood beer in Pennsylvania, in New Jersey, in Maryland, in the Constitution State, the great state of Delaware, and beyond. And you can find out where you can get your hands on some Kennies at kenwoodbeer.com and use that Kenny tracker. And of course, at kenwoodbeer.com, you can even get your hands on their brand new golf glasses, not for your eyes. That's Tomahawk Shades, for your drinking entertainment. And you can get in on everything. Yep, right there. Absolutely beautiful Kenwood beer glasses. The new rebrand, honestly, for the last year or so, has been spot on for Kenwood beer. They've been on point.
Yeah, 100%. And also because it's the event this weekend. Again, want to talk to you guys about Paramount Plus. Don't miss out on the 3rd round and 4th round of the Farmers Insurance Open live on Paramount Plus with the Showtime plan. Stream the PGA Tour on CBS. The 3rd round starts Friday, January 24th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and the final round begins on Saturday, January 25th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Use our link in the description to sign up for Paramount Plus, and don't miss out on any of the 3rd and final round action of this year's Farmers Insurance Open on Paramount Plus with Showtime, and stream the PGA Tour on CBS. And Steve, I also just got another ad while we were recording. This is pretty fun. Also on Paramount Plus, you need a movie this week? Guess what? You can stream Gladiator and Gladiator 2 on Paramount Plus.
I'm all in on that one.
Gladiator follows a former Roman general as he fights to win back his name and gain the freedom of his people. Years later in Gladiator 2, a new hero is forced to enter the Colosseum and must find the strength to return the glory of Rome to its citizens. Stream Gladiator and Gladiator 2 now on Paramount Plus.
Absolutely electric. I love that so much.
Amazing.
I'm a firm believer in the works of Gladiator. What an absolutely electric franchise, let me tell you.
100%.
KB, we start off top 20 at the Farmers Insurance Open. Who is your pick for the week? By the way, I knotted up Ben at 16 apiece. So very well, we're off to a hot start so far early in the year.
Let's see. Who am I going to take for a top 20 if my app wants to load? Because I don't need to log in. Come on. PGA. Here we go.
We're trying here, guys.
Here we go. This is what it's all about. Top 20. I am looking here. I am going to take Bo Hostler plus 190.
Such a you picker there. It's also a Ben Piro fan. Top 20 for me, plus 275. Honestly, a great play. Believe it or not, like the fact that he finished T16 at the Sony to begin his year in his like first like big time event post brain surgery. Gary Woodland, top 20 at plus 275, making a big impact so early on in the year. He gained 4.28 strokes off the tee at the Sony, which is ranked 5th in the field, which I think is awesome. And he has a great history here on the West Coast. Top 10, who you got?
Top 10, I'm going to ride with the People's Champ at plus 280, Max Homa.
I'm a fan of the play, and I'm joining you with Max Homa for a top 10. He won here 2 years ago. He played his college golf at Cal. He's played here in the past in Pac-12 tournaments. He's played here for local tournaments. This is Max Homa's home. He's an LA boy, born and bred. So this is a home run play for a guy who surprisingly wasn't even the face of the LA Golf Club. He really should have been for TGL. This is going to be a great spot for Max Homa to thrive in a situation that he is familiar with. Top 10 for Maximilian Homa, or I think it's Maxwell, actually. Top 5.
Which I got to say, since we're both on the same page, whenever I'm on this show and we pick the same thing, because when going into this, guys, if you don't know, Steve and I have no idea who we're picking. I always bet when we're on the same page. So I am fully invested in this bad boy with Max Homa.
Let's see if we can land some more.
Let's see. Top 5. What's some good value, but a great play?
I have a good feeling that we're going to have a couple of similar picks the rest of the way through.
Top 5. Give me our guy, the ice cream wonder, Tony Finau.
Oh, not where I thought you were going to go. He's at plus 400 for a top 5. I'm going to go just behind him at plus 500. Another local guy. He played his college golf at my sister's alma mater at Pepperdine. Last week he played. He donated $100 or $1,000 for every single birdie he had, and double for every bogey. Scythe Theegala, top 5. Lock that in. He's the face of LAGC, and I think this is going to be another huge week. His dad's going to be in the crowd. Local match for him. Again, at Pepperdine, grew up playing out here at Torrey Pines, has played a lot of times out in the LA area. And the fact that he can't play the Genesis this week, he still wants to be here for 2 straight weeks, which also means I guarantee you he will be in my picks for the Genesis as well. But a top 5 here for Scythe Theegala early on. Your gimme play of the week before we get into those winners.
My gimme play. Let's see. This is my typical go-to.
Come on, pick somebody else.
I'm gonna go. Do I want to do this?
Dum 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 dum.
It's one of those things, like, it's a gimme, yes, but also, like, I want it to be good value. It's like right on the border, minus 105 for a top 30 finish, Shane Lowry.
I like that a lot. I'm going to give you a little more value here. It's also a little riskier, but he already has a win in the first 3 events of the year. He won at the Century. Hideki Matsuyama at plus 120 for a top 10. Traditionally has always played really well on the West Coast. Again, I mentioned this for the Sony preview, I believe. Japanese golf courses are a lot like what you see in Hawaii and Western California, very similar kind of style. Very narrow courses and also very, very placement based. Torrey Pines is no exception. He fits this course history very well. He's great off the tee. He has great course history here. Strokes gained in very difficult circumstances. This is great for him. And of course, strokes gained on POA putting greens, which is a area of expertise for him here, is a Paramount move. Plus 120 for Hideki Matsuyama as you watch him on Paramount Plus in a Paramount situation to earn a second Paramount win. I use that word a lot. You're a winner this week.
So I have 2 type of winner picks here. I'll give
As do I.
I'll give my typical winner pick here. I am going to go with Ludwig Oberg at plus 900, kind of the favorite there. But on no free ads, the DraftKings Sportsbook, they have a double chance bet here that I also really like. Good value for either Ludwig or Hideki to win at plus 550.
That's a lot. I'm actually also going with Ludwig Oberg. I don't want to say this because he's the favorite and it's plus 900. The odds seem really thin. Ludwig Oberg going into the week was more closer to like 13-1, 14-1, and it's only gone down because he's losing out on 5 top 25 players in the world in the field. So yeah, it's a little bit weaker, but at the same time, plus 900 is still a really good play for a guy who's been tremendous so far this year. I think someone like Ludwig Oberg, I think, stands out as he's yes a star. I mean, we already know that. And in a 12-month span, he's done things that no one could ever dream to be able to do. But this is a golf course at Torrey Pines that it really rewards guys off the tee, and it's a breakout spot for Ludwig. He's great off the tee. He's really good at difficult courses. Look, the guy in his very first start at Augusta almost won the Masters. So to be able to do that and go into a course like this, it's the first time it's the first time he's ever played it. He gained almost 4 strokes on approach on way to a T5 finish at the Century. Last year in his Torrey Pines debut, he finished T9 and gained over 6 strokes on approach. So he has the experience. He knows that he has the go-to and the know-how in order to win here. I think Ludwig Oberg is the play to win. If you want a bet that's a little bit more out there that I can give you, I actually really do like, where is he on here? Justin Rose at plus 7,000. This isn't a golf course that you need to manhandle in order to win. You can play it short, you can play it long, so long as you're accurate. Justin Rose has been the mold of consistency and accuracy for the last 15 years on the PGA Tour. So at plus 7,000, if you want a bit of a wide outlook play, you can get a multiplier possibly on some sports books. I think that right there is also a really strong play. But Ludwig is the play for terms of beer money here.
Yeah, I also put a nice small little bet on that double chance. I really like that a lot.
I think that's a really good hit. I think both Hideki and Ludwig both have really good skill sets, and they can certainly dominate this golf course. Plus, again, it's certainly not an alternate field event. Don't get it twisted. But when you don't have to contend with Nikolai Højgaard and Colin Morikawa and Xander Schauffele and Scottie Scheffler, it opens up the avenues that it kind of dwindles down the list of guys who could really dominate and win this golf course. So I think both those guys stand out very much. KB, I'll let you take the outro.
Make sure you guys are following us on the socials across the board. As I like to say, we're not leaving platforms. We're just growing in real estate on platforms. So you can find Get in the Hole on pretty much any social media platform at Get in the Hole Pod. So follow us there. Ethan's been crushing it with the socials. Subscribe to the pod on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast in audio form. Leave a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping the show continue to grow, helps more people find Get in the Hole and Underground Sports Philadelphia's entire catalog of podcasts. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. We are 95 subscribers away from 1,000. I would love to hit that number before the Underground Sports Philadelphia anniversary on February 7th. That would be awesome. And also subscribe to the Get in the Hole podcast YouTube. We've been posting shorts on there to kind of just grow channel currency again. With just the who knows what of TikTok and everything. It's back now, but you never know.
It'll be gone again, and people are gonna go nuts for it.
Yeah. So we are also posting on YouTube Shorts on the Get in the Hole podcast YouTube channel as well. It's youtube.com/@GetInTheHolePod. So we're experimenting with just growing our other brands' channels with shorts and seeing how it works. But mainly for the episodes, it's youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers. We're 95 away. I know there's 95 people listening to this show right now that are not subscribed to the YouTube channel. So subscribe, leave a comment, and I'm hoping by the next episode we will have Steve's mom's voicemail line set up for the show.
I hope he can. Honestly, that would be.
It's very easy. I can do it probably when we finish recording this episode.
God, it'd be so freaking funny. People randomly
It's
calling
just for
in.
her.
Hi, everyone in podcast land.
It's the greatest line of all time.
Ethan, like the fact that you've been exposed to so much in this episode and you've stuck it out for 2 hours is absolutely hilarious. So thank you for that. The bullshit that ensues on this show it's A1 content, honestly. And I know Ben hates it because Ben listens back when he practices and wants to hear our golf takes, and then he gets mad when we're talking about what's the best film trilogy of all time.
He's going to despise this episode, and I'm here for it. Hi, Ben. How you doing, buddy? Guess what? When I come on this show, the fuckery ensues. How you doing? Keep it
It's the
moving.
fucking Thunderdome, bro.
We bring the boom.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. Before we go, I have to share a video.
See? The fuckery ensues, Ben.
I have to show you guys a video that was taken from my sister took it. Oh my god, where is it? I have to take the 30 seconds and I gotta upload it to my shit. So 1 second, please. Hold on 1 minuto. Oh my god, this is gonna be absolutely electric. Where's my email? Good, send it to me with no attachment. Beautiful. And let's work on opening up the floodgates here. All right, so a little bit of a backstory. So I'm at dinner with my family, and we're hanging out at the table, and I'm talking to my mom, and my mom's like, "Hey, I've been getting this stuff on my TikTok, and it's really weird. I don't know what it is. It's these TikTok guys who go to Costco." I'm like, oh, really? Is it now? It's the Costco guys? And she goes oh, what is the Costco guys? And I'm like, oh, you're in for an absolute freaking treat. And then I do this with my grandmother. Hold on. 1 second, please. I have to present it. There we go.
Send that to Ethan right now. That needs to go on the socials.
We'll make it happen.
That is fucking incredible.
There you go. Episode 188 of the Get in the Hole podcast. Shout out to my grandma Annette. She's turning 85 soon, I'm pretty sure. So shout out to her.
Shout out to your grandma. She gets 5 big booms. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, come on, Ethan. Boom. Do it, Ethan.
Boom.
Or I'm going to fire you.
Yeah.
Boom.
The video of them saying, "Oh, we're sorry about your brother that died. He gets 5 big booms."
Oh my god.
Piss
Killer.
myself
Oh my
every
God.
time I see it.
Killer. I'm gonna get on that cameo so quick, and I'm gonna buy you a birthday cameo from them. It's like $180. I don't really care. Oh, the only thing I want though is cousin Angela to come on.
Oh,
Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, the official golf podcast of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Catch us every week wherever you get your favorite podcasts, and be sure to like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Get in the Hole Pod, and follow Underground Sports Philadelphia at Underground PHI. We'll see you next time, and remember, get in the hole!